Today I want to talk with you about what took me so long to seek out counseling. To learn this key, I want you to keep watching. There's good stuff ahead. Hello, my name is Myrna, and I am so happy that you are joining me here today. I want you to know that you can thrive after incest, trauma, and loss. I will help you thrive using inner healing, personal development, and high impact life skills. There are 5 reasons that come to mind readily when I think about what was holding me back from seeking out counseling, but there's 2 that I want to talk with you about today. One of them was just the toxic pattern of secrecy and silence that came along with the impact of the sexual perpetration that I endured. It was certainly a lot of pressure that was experienced in just the dynamic of, the sexual perpetrator that was in my life, in the demand for secrecy and silence that was expressed through the experience as well as articulated directly and outright. And that was certainly something that took some time to break. And unfortunately, it certainly was connected with the second reason I want to talk with you about today as to why it took me so long to seek out counseling. And that second reason is the strong Black woman syndrome. This particular syndrome is something that is completely diabolical. It is probably one of the most horrific things that has impacted the experience of Black women all over the world. So women coming from the African diaspora have endured the expectation in many different expressions of the strong Black woman syndrome all throughout the nations. I want to know, as the question of the day, what have you believed that has limited you? Or in what ways have you been silent that you needed to speak out? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. So I live in the United States of America. I was born in Germany. I lived overseas. I was able to experience, quite a bit of being able to know how people live outside of America. But I want to speak specifically to just my experience here in the States. So in the United States of America, this country, unfortunately, is developed off of, the transatlantic slave trade and all of the horrible experiences that came along with that. And Black women, since the inception of the United States, have endured our minds and our bodies and our families and our once we were able to own land and own stuff, we've experienced the degradation and the disrespect, rape, we've experienced molestation, and just the attempt to fully dehumanize our bodies and our existence in the very land that we cultivated and developed. So it has, there's a lot of things that come along with that. But one of the things that, again, was a diabolical expression and expectation was that we would endure all of that hardship and be silent about it. So anytime that there would be a desire to speak out, to cry out against injustices, and so on, there was a pressure, a systematic pressure and desire to simply be silent. So that is definitely a part of the cultural, and I would argue even a diabolical spiritual expectation that hovers over the United States of America. A lot of those things are being dismantled. It's taking time, it's sometimes slow, but it is happening, and I'm grateful for that. So that particular cultural expression, and being fair, there were some things that I would say culturally, tribally, etc., that was expected of Black women of the African diaspora as well. That it's just not healthy. It's not what was intended for us in terms of the divine design and the abundance that we should experience. Having the expectation culturally, the expectation within certain aspects of family. Like my mom is one of the most amazing Black women that you could meet, and so she actually has a high standard, and I think that she certainly has healed from a lot of things on her own, and it's been wonderful to see her change and transform and to become the woman that she was intended to be. Just seeing her experience, seeing her growth, and recognizing that there's certain things that I want to take from her, and there's certain things that I want to live into that is really authentic to my expression and who Myrna Kate Robinson is. That journey took some time. It took some time for me to recognize that being a strong Black woman does not always line up with being the healthy, thriving woman that I should be. I'm not going to be silent because it meets your needs. I'm not going to suffer in silence. And when I, speak out against injustices, I'm not going to be silent because you are discomforted by the truth. I'm not going to be silent because I'm inconveniencing your plan and your desire to maintain control or to manipulate or to have power over me. No, I'm not going to maintain silence in that sense anymore. Culturally, in our family dynamics, in what we see and what we believe around what it means to be a Black woman. Sticking with the scope of this message today, it's imperative, me speaking to you as a Black woman, it's imperative that you examine what lies have I believed about what it means to be strong, what it means to be Black, what it means to be a woman. What lies have I believed in terms of what it means to be a strong Black woman? And what do I want out of life? What do I want to become? How do I transform into that image, that reality of what I am to be in abundance and to live healthily so that I can overcome the pain of my past and live into the joy of my future? How do I do that? And once you are willing to recognize, okay, there's certain things here that I believe that's a lie, and I am now going to walk into the truth. Once you realize that, your transformation begins. Yes. You could be a woman or a man of color, or you could even be, a Caucasian woman or man. Sometimes we have expectations culturally that try to dictate to us what our healing and lifestyle needs to look like. And a lot of the times those ideas have absolutely nothing to do with healthy transformation or healthy living. And so just recognize and know that whatever your external or internal framework is saying to you, that you've got to be this, do this, believe this, say this, whatever. Once you've examined and confronted and challenged those ideas, if they do not line up with what is healthy, with what is intended for you to be, listen, it is definitely okay for you to call that thing out as a lie and to dismiss it. So be encouraged. I would love the opportunity to connect. You can join my community that's called It's Time to Thrive. I am helping people overcome incest, trauma, and loss because we've decided that we're going to thrive and we're going to live into the joy of our future. You can thrive after incest, trauma, and loss. I will help you thrive using inner healing, personal development, and high impact life skills. I love you. But Jesus will always love you best. I will see you soon.